Let's turn to fintech. Mizuho outlining their top picks for 2023 in a new note this morning, bullish on names like Robinhood, Toast, and Fiserv. Joining us now, the analyst behind that call, Mizuho's Dan Dolev. Dan, good to see you. You like Hood. You say the company matured in the second half of this year, but did it diversify? How much revenue is it still getting from payment for order flow? Is it more successful these days in cross-selling or upselling its customers?
It's a great question. I think that the payment for order flow, the key issue there was that it was on the table that it's going to go away. And now with Gensler basically telling us it's not going away, that risk is over. So, payment for order flow is really about low double-digit % of revenue. It's not that big of a deal in the greater scheme of things. And now we kind of have a clear 2023 knowing that this is here to stay. So that's a huge positive catalyst, I would say. And there's other things that make us super excited about Robinhood too.
What are those things? I know that Robinhood has been trying to offer different financial products. It feels like every kind of fintech, though, is trying to be that one-stop shop. So what's going to make Robinhood the most appealing next year?
Yes, it's a great one. Everyone wants to be the next fintech, but there's only one Robinhood. And it's a true singularity if you think about it. Like, this is the name that comes to mind every time you think about sort of young people trading, et cetera. It's always Robinhood. So I would just name a few catalysts, right, for 2023. They're getting into retirement, right? IRA, they're offering that product. That's a huge TAM out there for people to actually try to start to give their money for retirement money to Robinhood. That's unprecedented. I think they're going to disrupt this market. That's a huge catalyst. They're doing really well on trading. November trends have been very strong. People were worried about profitability. They've turned like $47 million in positive EBITDA in the third quarter, so the cost cutting are working. And I met with Vlad a few weeks ago, and it turns out the sentiment in the company is very strong, and it's kind of onward and upward from here. So I think all the moons and the stars are aligned for a great 2023 for Robinhood.
Well, Dan, what I don't get is, aside from the millennials and younger who think they want to day trade, or at least thought they wanted to day trade things, including crypto, what's the longer case growth thesis for Robinhood versus Vanguard or Fidelity or E-Trade or, many of the names out there? As investors get more cautious and stop being traders, is that potentially bad for them versus those other names?
I actually think, and this is like the key debate here, right? I think you're kind of hitting the nail on the head. That what they're going to do, and this is, again, in my view, they're going to focus on this cohort, and they're going to go as deep as possible on this cohort. So the bull case here is getting those younger people and having them do everything possible, getting the allure of Robinhood, having to do as much as they want, or as much as they can with Robinhood. And remember, while you don't have to go to like the boomers, you could still stay in that cohort and get a bigger share of wallet. You can go internationally into that cohort. So there's still a lot of growth that can come from penetrating and growing the ARPU in that specific cohort. So I don't think there's necessary competition from the Fidelities of the world or Schwabs of the world at this juncture.
Now, some of your other top picks are a lot more, in my view, I don't want to call them conservative exactly, but Toast is a bit more of a B2B play, of course, Fiserv, et cetera, more based on business transactions and the volume of those. In a way, they've been benefiting from inflation because they're taking a percentage. Can you talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, sure. So Toast is like the ultimate share gainer here, right? Like they're growing restaurants at a 5,000-6,000 clip per quarter. And what you're seeing with Toast is like the bull case on Toast is that we've done a proprietary survey that shows you that restaurants that take payroll, which is less than 50%, actually get an extra 1 to 2 extra software products. That comes in at a 100% incremental margin, which means that everyone thinks, or consensus thinks, that they're not going to be profitable next year. We actually have them turn profitable next year because of that software. So it's excellent execution, best-in-class share gain, gaining share from like the Heartlands, Global Payments of the world, and basically taking that and selling software. Fiserv, I would like to say that's a super value, deep value topic. Clover is executing just as good as Toast, but it's not getting the multiple. So they're also a net share gainer from the ecosystem. And I think Fiserv needs to get that multiple in 2023. It's a deep value share gainer that basically performs like the other growth stocks. So those two we like.